everybody, this is Laura. I'm so excited to tell you about my sighting of the week up in northern Grand Teton National Park. I got a chance to see grizzly bear 399 interacting with her daughter, grizzly bear number 610, and all their cubs together. So that's 8 bears all at once in the same place. In my 10 years of guiding, this may have been my best sighting so far. Of course, grizzly bear 399 may be the most famous grizzly bear in Wyoming. She's 24 years of age this year, and she's given birth to likely 17 cubs throughout her lifetime. 610 is one of her older cubs. She was born 12 years ago, and she also has 2 second-year cubs of her own. For grizzly bears, they'll keep their cubs around usually for 2 to 3 years to teach them what it's like to be a bear in the wild. Recently on an episode of Wildlife Wednesday Weekly Roundup, I showed you a film of grizzly bear number 610 swimming in Grand Teton National Park. This time, I got to witness 399 swimming the same path. I wonder how 610 learned that behavior. I'm sure, I guarantee you, it was from her mother, 399. We'd been seeing these bears in the area for a few days. This time of the year, berries are really attractive for bears to consume. So a grizzly bear might be consuming between 20 to 30,000 calories per day strictly in berries. I assume that's kind of like carb loading, getting ready for winter hibernation. They just want to pack on those pounds to put on their body weight for winter. So a couple of days before, we saw 399 in the area. She was feasting with her cubs on berries on a hillside. Also, we knew that 610 had been in that northern Grand Teton zone for a few days, but I hadn't seen them together, and I rarely do. So I set up my Maven spotting scope. With our great gear from Maven Optics, we can safely view large predators like bears from a safe distance away. Legal minimum distance from a grizzly bear in Grand Teton National Park is 100 yards, which is a football field's length. Bear cubs are tag-alongs to their mothers for the first 2 to 3 years of their lives. Of course, 610, being the daughter of 399, was with her for 2 full years, 2 full summers in Grand Teton National Park. And these 2 female bears could be considered what we call roadside bears. We think that these bears are habituated to humans. They've seen us before. They know our behaviors well. But they have not been food conditioned. So that means we don't think that these bears are being fed illegally by humans, and they're sticking with the natural food sources provided for them. So of course, a bear stays with its mom for 2 to 3 years to learn what it's like to be a wild bear out there in the woods. So biologists think that these roadside bears not only find great food sources in those areas, but also may be protecting their cubs by hanging out near humans. And I know that sounds very strange, but male bears, or we call them boars, will sometimes try to kill cubs. And yeah, that sounds really mean, very unusual, but male bears want the opportunity to mate and to spread their genetics instead of allowing the genetics of another male to live on into the future and become the later competition for him. So those male bears or boars, they don't really like us. They don't really like humans. So if the female bear and the cubs stick near the roadside, therefore they are protecting themselves from harm. Across the water on a small island, we first noticed grizzly bear 6'10" and those 2 second-year cubs. So those are larger size cubs. And they were rooting around in an area that I recognize has had some beaver activity in it recently. Now, I don't know if they were after those beavers specifically to eat them, but it just looked like they were sniffing around, digging around in that lodge area or in that beaver home area to hopefully find a meal. And then they disappeared off into the woodwork. There's some trees just by the water's edge. They went in there, we couldn't see them anymore. And to our surprise, another bear, also with cubs, popped out from the right. She came splashing down out of the bushes, right into the water. I think those cubs were all sugared up from eating so many berries. They quickly swam across the water onto the same island that I've recently seen 6'10" use. They romped across, they jumped back into the water and joined 6'10" on that island. So I'm sure 6'10" learned these behaviors from her mother in years past. Over a summer season, grizzly bears have about 260 different food sources that they can choose from. Both male and female bears travel to different areas within their territories throughout the summer to locate different foods. And of course, they're omnivores, so that could mean eating carcasses, that could mean eating things like berries, which is really important right now. We've been seeing bears on serviceberry, on huckleberry bushes, in thimbleberry patches, just going to town, munching up all the berries they can find this week. In late summer, that could also mean insects and pine nuts, which are very important food sources for bears to enjoy, as well as things like fish and root vegetables, which are found throughout the year at different times. Well, for me, that was an incredible sighting. I'm so excited to have gotten a chance to share it with you. Thank you for watching. And thanks for keeping up with our wild bears of northern Grand Teton National Park. I hope you're as excited as I am to witness this interaction. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.